Hello, everyone. Uh, it's time to come up with the Oh Really report. This is by the WOWISH group. The WOWISH group is a group of people who gets together and we start looking at news, we start talking about contemporary stuff, and the next thing you know, somebody says, "Wow, I wish that this would be done this way. Wow, I wish that this would be done that way." And we actually, at points, talk about solutions to the problems. Right now, we have problems with the government, and I mean to generalize. I mean, we have an FDA that claims that it's this, and no one trusts it. MTA can say anything, and nobody trusts anybody that comes from the government. The only thing that people are going to say is, "Oh, really?" There is no respect for anybody in the government because the government has already abused its citizens. We may be the best country in the world, but we are also the worst example in the world. Uh, I don't understand why either health or education is even in discussion. You maintain the old people who made this country, and you do not give them a hard time about anything. You make them feel like kings, queens, instead of watching all these old people walking down the street with their heads down low, feeling unappreciated, hearing all this news. You're not supposed to stress old people, but yet everybody's all stressed out because they don't know if tomorrow they're going to be able to get their aspirin. That is a lack of respect, and that is a total disengagement from the reality of what this government is supposed to do. Now that's just the little kids, the older kids. I'm going to talk about the little ones. Since when does education have to be thought about? Just the same way as health for certain individuals is there, period. You don't discuss education and cudget butts on education. You've got the new flowers, the new strength of a nation that doesn't even trust anymore. Because the things that, for example, this kid the other day, what? He copied and did exams for other people, and then he has to pay for it by whatever disciplinary action comes from school. Well, what about Bush? What about all these other government people who are supposed to be working with our tax money and are doing exactly what they want to do, including even the day, I mean, if you shoot somebody in the face by mistake, are you going to be forgiven? No, but because you're a vice president, you're going to get forgiven? No, I thought the law was equally for everyone. No, 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 no. So the O'Reilly report, we are going to talk about things that are happening. We're going to degloss what's happening. And we're not only going to complain about anything, we are also going to come up with a solution. We do have a solution, a mass solution as to how to deal with what's going on. And it's basically coming right back to us. We have to be making the decisions. The government does not know how to make decisions on our behalf. I mean, what's going on? You've got health Obamacare. Here's a quickie. Obamacare. Obamacare is not Obama's baby. He didn't come up with that. The Republicans came up with that. And now, here, oh yeah, that's another thing. I do not deal in what's politically correct or what's not politically correct. Politically correct means that that it is there are people that are too weak in their brains to handle criticism. So therefore, words are now politically incorrect. I'm sorry. I was raised differently. I was raised that actions was what was detrimental to another person. I was raised to say what I have to say, and that I'm going to be respected for what I have to say, and that I pay the consequences from what I have to say. If I want to use the N word, I'm totally free to use the N word, but I pay for the consequences of having to say it. And by the way, I can use the N word in certain groups, but you can't say something about my group. Latinos, we do use the N words for each other. I don't, but you can't. So there's a lot of little politically correct. You see, I have so many ideas. We have so many themes to talk about. But what's important about this is that you know that the O'Reilly report by the WOWISH group is not only going to criticize. It will come up with some solutions. We are going to talk about the hospitals like Presbyterian hospitals and other hospitals that claim to be on the top 10 list. We're going to talk about the telephone companies, particularly in Sprint. Sprint is a very big abuser and disrespectful of its people, of its customers. We're going to talk about transportation. We're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about education. But most of all, we're going to talk about how we can solve the problem that we have with the people that work for us. He may be president, but he is only the general director of our company. All of them work for our company. And since when do other people tell you what to do with your company? So I have a plan, which I think a lot of people are going to like. And right now, I just want you to know that the WOWISH group has definitely come out with the Oh Really report. So till next time, oh, by the way, this is also a Spanglish site. It's not going to be Spanish, and it's not going to be all English. It's Spanglish, and it's not going to be Spanish, because anybody from any country who's been living in the United States for over 5 years should be respectful to the country they live in, learn the language, and should be respectful to the country they come from. Because you're coming here because you want to better yourself. And 5 years after, and you're still in this country, and you still cannot speak English, está pasado. So like I said, this is a Spanglish. And once again, welcome to the Oh Really report by the WOWISH group. I'll see you on the next one with some solutions to some problems.